Hello, hello. Welcome and or welcome back. How we doing? Hope everyone's doing okay. I'm doing fine. I'm just a little tired, but hey, that explains the title, don't it? Lazy streamer does more reacties, or does some more reacties, or react some more. I've even forgotten what I've labeled my. Yeah, react some more. Yeah, I've even forgotten what I've labeled it. But yeah, fucking hell. Stream hasn't even started and Ralsei's done something fuck to me, bro. I'm not the second, but does that offer still stand? sorry. I accidentally took that away from you. Get me more photos of Spider-Man. Like, Ralsei was just here in, like, the room, I guess, before anyone else was here, and I was like, oh, hello. And then he basically pulls a fucking rape list. You on me, like, what the fuck? We've poisoned Ralsei, bro. We poisoned him. Anyways, let me just flip this up. Hello. But who knows? You'll have to ask Ralsei. I hope everyone's doing well. Gonna do a little bit more reacties. I'm gonna react to the second video of that guy. Definitely Bored Oranges. The second video he's ever made on the Coffin game. First video wasn't that bad, if I'm being completely honest. The first video wasn't that bad. He just, to me, it's just like, he clearly doesn't like the game and found it a little bit more lucrative to, like, lean towards the more, like, what would you say, like, the more generally appealing consensus as founded by Twitter. But it's fine, you know, like, he genuinely just doesn't like the game as well, so that stands. But I don't know how you can like it when it has convinced people to create such wonderful creations. Oh yeah, I just love this image so much. It's so good. Hey, a friend of mine was telling me before I was streaming, it was Havoc, now that I think about it. He was saying, like, oh, if you're calling your stream a react stream, why don't you just continue playing Yakuza? It's a fucking movie anyway. I was like, you know what? Fuck, you might be right. You might be right. Oh well. But yeah, I'm thinking, after tonight, tomorrow night, what could that be? It's either going to be more Ib or more Yakuza. But yeah, I'm still trying to power through this fucking cough that I've got. It's just been haunting me. Like, I know, like, I'm clearly, what would you say, recovering from it? Like, I'm not suffering from any more flu or fever symptoms. But it's like, fucking hell, it's like, you know when you walk past, like, deodorant or body spray or any sort of aerosol ever, and it's particularly strong smelling, like, it just fucking, it crawls inside my lungs, and it just fucking, it's like that fucking, you know, like the scene from The Thing where the fucking alien pops out of that guy's chest? That's what it feels like. It's happening to me, man. Chicken. Winner, chicken dinner. I have a channel I like to recommend for streamers to react to. Is it yours? I wonder. It depends. It could be interesting. Although, I'll try to keep reactees very sparse. Because I don't want to, like, I don't want to, like, do gaming, like, 100% of the time, and then all of a sudden do, like, gaming only 10% of the time. I want to still keep gaming a, majority. Doctor Nowhere is good. Doctor Nowhere. For once, I don't think I've heard of that. If that's a real channel. Doctor Nowhere. Doctor Nowhere. Let me see. My name is Silas Orion. I'm 19 and I enjoy making art and telling stories. 794,000 subscribers. I think I might have seen images. Ah, alright. Okay. I haven't heard of his name. But no, okay, you're right. The boiled one. Yeah, I understand what you mean now. Yeah. No, okay. We've all seen the meme of what he's made, sure. I'll actually, you know what? That's actually a good suggestion. I like myself horror. I like to play horror games. He's got fire videos. It looks like it. Concept, Toe 1. TOE2, or TOE3 even. The Boiled One Phenomenon, The Boy in the Bath, The Boiled Plush, The Oddity Compendium, Paper Souls, Silas Orion, Long Boy Bonsai, Where Did Life Go, and Smilehood Conception. For reaction to Boiled One and Compendium is always good. Is it going to be like one of those jump scare type videos where it's like it goes boo and then the guy goes ah, and hilarity ensues? Actually, hold on. I've got my reacty screen ready. What am I doing? I can just show the channel here. Yeah. I'll keep that in mind, actually. That's a decently good suggestion. I thought it was going to be like some niche Dementoid. No, he takes his scary very good, or he makes his videos very nice. All right. It's got like I don't mean to like offend by comparison, but I do this out of a more complimentative sort of angle. It has that kind of like Walton Files type of feel to it, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not just analog horror. It is analog horror, but it's like the aesthetic changes, you know what I mean? Like, people have different ways of doing it. What's that other one? The Walton Files, Mandela Catalog, I think was one of the earlier ones. The guy who made the Five Nights at Freddy's ones as well. It reminded me of that video, Take Care. Let me turn this off just in case. Take Care. Ah, this one. This is the first one that shows up, apart from the music videos. You probably mean this one. The one with 12 mil? Not this shit by Drake. Ultra Kill. Well, take care. Take care. Take care. Take care, Tyler, the Creator. But yeah, it's probably this one. I remember when people doing reacties to analog horror was like all the rage. It was all the rage back in the day. It still kind of is. Like, nobody's ever really going to get bored of horror. It's just what type of horror. You know, like, you for example, you can't just keep playing Slenderman the 8 pages forever. You know, horror changes. It takes different shape. I think we're still like in the mascot horror type thing. I blame Five Nights at Freddy's and Poppy Playtime for that, but analog is creeping up on people, man. Analog. And more psychological horror instead of like, people are trying to be a lot more subtle, is what I'm trying to say. But anyways, I'm going to do a little bit of a continuation of a reacty to the channel. Definitely Bored Oranges. The video I reacted to before was the internet's most controversial indie game, but the poor man got absolutely time raped because that video was released a few days before the update to the game came out, where it added like 10 more hours worth of content to the game. So that was kind of bad luck on his part. One of my favorite things to do is hijack small streams by making them look at all the scary stuff you find. Hey, listen. Hey, but you say that, but unironically, that's a deal, man. That's a fucking win-win. Streamer does something that they were going to do anyway, and you get content out of it as well. It's a fucking win-win. And if they scream, and if they cry, and if they jump in their seats, that's your entertainment for the night. It's honestly, it's brilliant. But you also prove my point. Small streamers are the most groomable type of people on the internet. You know what? Especially the ones, you know, like streamers who are just big enough to get donations. They are the most easy to fuck with, trust me. If you're evil enough to do this, just wave like $2 in front of them and say like, if that counts as grooming, how many victims do you have? How many more fucking victims do you have? You're telling me I'm not your first one? I thought I was your special boy. You're scared to answer. See, now that's the real horror. Chat boys. Anyways, I do have the video loaded up. I just need to check if the volume is okay. This guy is pretty fucking loud. Or I put him very fucking loud. And I think I put him a little bit too quiet last time. I put him like negative to 10, I think. That should be fine. 10 point, fine. No, 11. Fine. There we go. I'm building my reputation online. You're building the reputation of something of a... If I'm accurate in saying this, the old archetype is like a reply guy. A reply guy. Something like that, I think. Something like that. But anyways, just to elaborate a little bit more on the context, this video was only uploaded 6 days ago. So, yeah, this guy got fucked by the timing. He only made a video on chapter 1 and 2, and then chapter 3 came out, and now he kind of made this in sort of, you know, why not? It's extra content, you know, and chapter 3 is a lot to talk about. 30 minutes dedicated to the whole of chapter 3 bodes pretty well, and like I said, it's not like his last video is that bad. I didn't find it particularly funny, per se, but it wasn't egregious. But hey, we'll see what happens. They will know me as that weird fuck named Photos. I guess it's easier if I just call you Photos then. I was thinking, like, how the fuck should I abbreviate your name? Get me more, or me more, or more photos, or photos of Spider-Man? I was this close to saying, hey, Spider-Man. But thank fuck you said Photos. I think Photos rolls off the tongue a lot better than Spider-Man. Alright. Let's get into it. Let's see what he's got to say. Hold on.
A couple of months ago, I made a video on a very divisive game called The Coffin of Andy and Lele. I spoke about my thoughts on the game as a whole, and I went into the initial controversy that would become the main thing the game was known about. And I'm purposely not saying what that is because YouTube would chuck me out of a window. The video ended up getting seen by way more people than I ever thought, which led to a very diverse set of opinions in the comment section. It was a lot. And
really? Ooh, Andy, you will kiss your sister and mom. Hey. He actually killed his parents. But there is a mod that does make him do that. It's called like the Coffin of Andy and Renee. Oh, but speaking of, I had this fucking weird fucking revelation when I was like when I was playing through the game again just in my own spare time and looking at other people play it, I missed a small bit of dialogue. Apparently, Renee complains that people mispronounce her name, so it's not supposed to be Renee. It's supposed to be Rennie. Oh, what? That's just fucking pain. And by the way, speaking of pronunciations and all that, I was proven right. I was proven right about Lele being Lele because it was confirmed in the Steam update notes. So, Lily pronunciators, destroyed. Get fucked. I was right the whole time. It's Lele. What scares me is how easy it is to replicate the art style of this game. To me, it's kind of like, you know, trying to draw the Powerpuff Girls. It looks deceptively easy at first, but then there are like full-on people who try to study like the anatomy, and they're like, oh, if you get one fucking pixel wrong, you've ruined it. So that's kind of what it looks like to me. Like, it looks simple, and it is fucking iconic. Anyone would recognize the art style anywhere, even replications. You haven't been where you've been? Rule 34? I have been in the trenches of the deepest, darkest pits of Zitter and Reddit. Unless you mean like some other like niche website that I don't dare know about. But then that's different. Exactly my point. Yeah. But yeah, no. Art style is fucking iconic. It just hits. Just everybody knows where it is immediately, even if it's a replication or if it's just drawn to like parody other characters. Yeah. But like honestly, there are some CGs and scenes in the game that look they just look really, really good.
And worst of all, my video was immediately made outdated in just a week because the game got a
He addressed it.
That's no exaggeration, by the way. I was absolutely livid. So instead of instantly capitalizing and making another video on this, I worked on a bunch of other projects instead. God, the Deltarune video was so good, guys. Anyhow, I knew I'd eventually get around to talking about Chapter 3 of this game.
Where is the server dude? The server dude. What do you mean? I'm trying to think. Unless you mean like Havoc or Ralsei or even Butter. I don't know. Easy for me to be a shitter, because there's only like 3 names that I need to remember. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm streaming a little earlier than, what would you say? Than usual. I usually try to stream 9:30 GMT. You're telling me you don't have Discord? I do have Discord. Unfortunately, I am a Discordian. And I'm also a Zitard. Shameless plug, I have linked my Zitter in the description because I thought, oh fuck, why not, you know? In case somebody wants to tag me with like a drawing or an idea. No server? Oh, you mean like an actual server? Okay, no. I've thought about this before. And I'm thinking, in terms of a Discord server, I think it's better if I leave it alone for now. I mean, essentially, I'm small enough to the point where it's like, every single time I go live, if there's even like 2 or 3 people in here, they essentially treat it like a group chat. You know what I mean? Like, it's basically your own little space. I understand if it changes, but hey, that's me betting on too much luck. But yeah, I'll hold off on making the Discord server. Flowey the Flower, greetings. That is the most fucked up profile picture I've ever seen in my life. You're Grapes. Welcome back, Grapes. You and your many alt accounts. Although you have many alt accounts, you are becoming quite the elusive figure. I think Ralsei was here just a bit earlier, but I don't know where he's run off to. Maybe he's trying to search for Shadow Ralsei, or what he calls his twin. And Butter is just busy grinding, bro. Busy being the alpha Chad. I mean Chud. Fuck, I fucked it up. You like it because it's so fucked up? It looks like you're gonna... It just looks like the fucking profile picture definition of rape. Yeah, it's Ralsei. Or how do you say it? Ralsei? I don't think we're ever gonna figure out how to pronounce it. You cracked me for chatting second. Hey man, I didn't mean it. But the hunted has become the hunter. You have turned around and bared your fangs. But that just goes to show how bad an influence this message feed has been on you.
Because I just hate leaving stories unfinished.
By the way, his microphone sounds a lot different from how it did before. I don't know how much post-process editing he's doing. Or maybe he's doing like a ton of noise reduction, but it's too much. It's just a tad bit too much. And it's kind of bothering me.
So, here we are. You probably
like,
thought of...
You hear how tinny it is? What am I doing on this beautiful day? When it was day, it wasn't beautiful. And besides the point, it's nighttime. But I'm being a lazy streamer right now. Reacting to a video.
Of questions like, Ty, did the game improve? Or, Ty, did the game get worse? Or, Ty, this is the IRS. Why haven't you paid your taxes?
Is he just... Is his name? No? Is he more comfortable with his name now instead of Oranges? I'm not even going to remember, so I'm just going to keep calling him Oranges, I guess.
All of these questions will be answered. Right now. Kinda no...
Oh shit, by the way! Fuck! He's upgraded his fucking plushie collection, bro. He's got a lot more than he did last time. That's how you know he's going places.
And you will never see even a penny from me, you greedy little fuck.
Base taxation is theft.
You know, it really sucks when I'm looking up stuff for videos, and since everything is blocks now, I can't find anything. I love living in the UK where I have to give my ID for everything. Thank God for PIA VPN, am I right, guys? With this VPN, all of these websites...
The army of alt accounts have come!
So
they've come to rape me!
But I can also now fully utilize 100% of my Netflix account. So I can watch all of these anime that
Alright, this is the shield section of the video.
Which is topical for no reason at all.
Just make the title obvious.
Speeds offered by a VPN.
I'll probably call it like, being boiled alive or something like that.
Seriously, if you live in the UK, it's basically required unless you want to be big brothered. If you use my link in the description, then check...
By the way, I don't know why it took me so long to like... recognize this? I might have said this before in the other stream, but it's like, we Brits are getting fucked. Photos made me do it as fire. Boiled photos.
Check out PIA VPN. For real. It's my VPN of choice. Anyway, back to the video.
Alright, shill section
After
over.
Andrew and Ashley sacrifice their parents' soul to the devil, kill and eat them, we get sent to a flashback of the duo meeting their grandparents.
Yep.
And also a closer look at how awful their parents really are. More on that later. Anyway, there was a devil's ritual in a basement that Andrew goes down, and that's the only thing worth noting. I'm serious. In the present, their avoidance of their crimes leads them into a gas station. Hijinks ensue. I'm still bad at puzzles. They kill a group of campers or something, and I know my summary might sound uncaring. Don't worry, they don't have names or sprites, so I'm only matching the game's energy. Ashley is Ashley though, so she makes things worse, and Andrew finally has enough of her shit and attempts to kill her. But because of literal divine intervention, Andrew gets his
he fucked this up again. I'm gonna be a little bit pedantic and nitpicky. It can't be divine intervention. It's from a demon, actually. It's not by God.
His soul removed and then put back, under the condition that Ashley will properly work for the demons she met in chapter 1. Andrew properly breaks up with his ex, abuses Ashley, a thing that happens that I actually feel kind of gross talking about, and the two decide to game end.
I'm surprised that's the only thing that he's grossed out by. There's a lot to be in this chapter, though. But that's kind of the whole point, eh?
Because they rightfully realize their lives were fucked. I don't care what anyone says. This is the good ending of the game. This would be where I'd segue into talking about the things I liked and then yap about the things that I didn't. But I also feel like I need to clarify that my opinions on the game is less of a depiction issue, like I thought it was in the first game, and more of a foundational problem that exists in every chapter of the game so far.
The soul of the game is rotten to the core. It is not to my taste.
The music is still good. The game has a sound that is recognized.
At the beginning of the stream, for the intro song, it is actually a edited version of a song from the soundtrack of the game. It's probably my favorite one so far. It's called Gartree. It's very calming. It's melancholic as well.
The use of
Although I'm not going to cosplay as Anthony Fantano anytime soon, so don't worry.
Toy Box, I read that as Toby Fox, oh my god. The use of Toy Box
Toby
sounds
Fax.
playing into the two siblings' stunted development is a good touch. However, the songs do get a bit repetitive when you're stuck in the same area for too long, which happened to me a lot. I'll chalk it up to a skill issue though, because I feel like the puzzles were harder in this one, which is a good thing. In chapter 1 and 2, I feel like the puzzles were too easy for the majority of the game. In chapter 3, I actually had to use my brain. Saying I enjoyed them overall though is a false nuke. A lot of these puzzles seem kind of pointless, or like you're expected to just spam buttons until you get lucky. The family portrait comes to mind because I would not associate any of these faces to these characters outside of the father. A lot of these puzzles require
well, I think the parents, funnily enough, are the easier one. The one that fucked me up the most was the expression that you're supposed to put on Ashley, or on the ghost that's supposed to represent Ashley. Yeah, like Andrew, you can kind of get it, but I think it comes to the point where the hints were kind of in front of you the whole time. You can infer the expressions from the little that you can, the little that you're given about the parents' personalities, right? Like, the father's been described as like a dead fish, like a corpse, very unenthusiastic. Rennie, like fucking Remy from Ratatouille, bro. That's gonna fuck me up forever, bro. I'm never gonna get used to calling her Rennie. It can't be. But her expression is really angry. The expressions on the ghosts, however, match the expressions of the overworld sprites for the protagonists. Anyway, Andrew has this fucking neutral face, very much like Frisk from Undertale, and ironically a lot like Frisk from Undertale. And Ashley's expression, despite how like, what would you say, like whimsical and hysterical, weirdly joyous she can be, has this like permanently sad expression on her face. But hey.
Require you to go back and forth between rooms just to get it done, which feels like a waste of time. And there are multiple points where you have to be on a certain tile to progress the game, and there is no indication of where that is.
Well, there is a little bit of indication you have a symbol up, like pop above his head, unless you mean like the specific place where it's like, for example, in that scene you have to dig up, well, like limbs or something, like unless you meant it only should pop up for the correct tiles or something. But my hope is that it's just RPG Maker game gameplay. You know, it's you just click every tile for any and every detail that you can possibly find.
The game's background and foreground blend together way too hard. There's a part of the game where I'm supposed to find shoes on the floor, and I actually couldn't see one of them. Or a time with this tree where you can just walk up onto what definitely looks like part of the background. But if I wanted to go left or right on the same tree, I can't do that. I would normally be fine to say I was being blind as fuck, but this is a persistent issue in the whole game. In this room, there is a puzzle that requires you to enter a code based on the order of these leaves. You'll notice each tree contains a different amount of leaves. So you would assume that...
No, to be fair, I got fucked by this puzzle too. On
each tree and then progress in the game. You see, that would mean I was paying attention to my surroundings, so what you're actually expected to do is walk around aimlessly until this fucking eye pops up and tells you there's a secret code.
Granted, there are numbers literally engraved in the tree. It's just not as obvious as you think it would be. At first, it's easy to miss, but then when you see it and it hits you, it's like, fuck, I'm retarded.
Code under the tree. What? How does one accidentally design a good puzzle, but force me into a much simpler and boring one? That's incredible. Now that I've had the time to think about my experience with the game, I don't think this loop is really for me. It's far too understimulating. Peep that thing I did there. I did this thing where I talk about my feelings towards something. I think people call it an opinion?
I hate those.
You know, the whole idea that something is subjective and up to the person talking about the thing. Don't know why I brought that up here. Anyway, I think the writing of the game sucks.
Setting bad.
This is definitely a me thing, but I have never been a fan of media where the characters we follow are shitty and the rest of the world is shitty too, because I just don't find it interesting. This quickly went from disinterest to mild annoyance with this game, as our main characters are clearly supposed to be seen as bad people. There's an asterisk at the end of that sentence. The narrator and every character that exists makes that very clear. Every chapter has someone channel their inner low-tier god when dealing with the siblings. It's not subtle. But then every other major character or group of people are kind of shitty too. For it feels like 40% of interactions with police, they are shockingly incompetent. To find out more, such 40% cops, Andrew confesses to his murders and they literally go, well, it says you're dead, so this is just a prank call, and then hang up. And they weren't even brought up during the apartment situation from chapter 1. You know, when everyone was being held there with no food and anyone who came near them would be shot on sight? Yeah, the news covered it and said the same thing and acted like it wasn't a big deal. So the government and the media are all corrupt enough to let all of that happen without a second thought. Every character in the game is the same way too. Throwing around...
Granted, I'm going to say that I think for once, and this is probably going to be a point against me, you're paying attention to like the world building a little bit way too much. Hello Butters, how you doing? You had a cross with the capital of Israel in my room. I understand why my luck has been so bad. Throw it out. Is that your like methodology of like exercising it? Welcome. Hope you're doing alright, matey.
Left, right, and center. Overall, they're just shitty. And then there's the cultists, who I feel like I don't need to explain why they're bad. So when everyone's bad, they don't seem all that unique.
Funnily enough, the cultists are actually like the more chill group of people in the entire game. But yeah, no. Like minor NPCs telling you to fuck off is like come on, it's just for a little bit of what would you say, like a very, 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 very small stint of like comedy relief. Really, because it's like, do you really want to care about like every single fucking NPC that comes across your way? It's a bit much to care about, eh? I get it if he's trying to say it like in a different way, like, oh, like there's a logical difference. But yeah, have you played Undertale Genocide? I have. I think I even tried to stream it like a long time ago. But the problem is, playing Genocide is the most fucking boring thing in the world. And streaming it is the most boring thing in the world to watch. Like, that's the problem. Like, you have two interesting points. The Undyne fight and the Sans fight, and that's it. Everything else is just meaningless. Why not? I'm going to say skill issue.
Despite the game constantly trying to show you that they are, by having a literal demon show interest in them specifically. I feel like it dilutes the obviously bad stuff the siblings do when everyone around them are pieces of shit too. There are moments in the game where the intended reaction is, oh my god, I can't believe they're doing this.
Yeah.
But the only reactions I ever had were apathy or excitement at the thought of Andrew actually pulling the trigger. And finally...
Go and do it, pull the trigger! Go and shoot me! A little bit of a Far Cry reference. 1, the grinding. 2, you can't kill Toriel. 3, you love Duggo. I mean... Hey, anything for getting the genocide ending, huh? Or trying to fight Sans.
Ending this game. The tone is also really weird. The first 2 chapters made jokes about a lot of serious themes present, but chapter 3 treats them with the gravity they deserve. However, the way those themes are actually portrayed are pretty shallow, which breaks my immersion anyway.
I'm gonna be a little bit of a pain in the ass. You said it wasn't a depiction issue, but now it's, oh, well, you know, they were portrayed really poorly.
For example, abuse and its many forms and how it trickles down to the next generation. The siblings go to see their grandparents, but we're only with these dudes for like 5 minutes. So the grandfather needs to be cartoonishly evil to compensate. Or their mother, who feels like an entire...
Cartoonishly evil? Evil? Like, he's, what would you say? He's a hard ass. Yeah, he's a hard ass, but evil. You know, what do you mean? He shouts at his son, who is their father. That's not evil. What is your definition of evil, bro? Hello, Fireflash. How you doing? Grr, he's hating on the incest sim. Andrew is a good boy. What is this guy on about? True.
Entirely different character. In chapter 2, I would say the mother was neglectful to her kids. She worked a lot and put pressure on Andrew to look after his little sister. That alone would explain their dynamic. But it's a lot harder to justify killing them when those are her only traits. So now...
Those are her only traits. You make her sound like she's a fucking, like, what would you see, like, one of those, like, people who are like, you gotta wake up at 3 a.m. to get on that grind. Like, bro, like, what? All she ever wanted to do was provide food on the table. I don't think that's not what happened in the game, bro. Let's see, the Muffet incident, the power of Neo. You're basically... Alright, Grapes, you're basically describing the reason why you can't do genocide is because it is the genocide route. Bro couldn't kill the first monster. Accidentally hit it once. Heartbroken. Muffet incident? Do you even get to kill Muffet in the genocide route? I don't think so.
She is super abusive and was actually gonna rat her kids out if you watch this super secret YouTube video. I don't like the way their parents are depicted, even in the last chapter. People brought this up in my Discord server too, and they were really nice about it. But I am
Oh, and yeah, photos. If you're running out of Discord servers, hey, Oranges as a Discord server. Right. You could do the genocide and then crack Flowey. I don't think that's what happens to Flowey at the end, but hey, to each their own. Photos, welcome back. And there you go, photos. I was just saying, I didn't know if you were here or not, but hey, I was just saying, you were asking if I had a server. I said no. Oranges has one, so if you're ever feeling a little lonely, you can maybe mingle with some media-interested people. Dude, I was at McDonald's and this old white man entered the woman's bathroom. Oh my god. Well, if he's old, then maybe he just didn't read the sign properly. Or maybe he's like one of those old school veteran perverts.
personally not a fan of the siblings' mother being as bad as she is in the game.
Why not?
Her being overworked and neglectful because of that put the two in the exact same place.
No, oh no. Oh no. No, no, you're joking. Are you telling me that the only reason that she's compelled... So that, wait, the only reason why she's cranky is because she works. She works a 9 to 5. That's it. Nothing to do at all with the fact that if you piece together the timeline, maybe she was a tad bit too young to have both Andrew and Ashley. It's mentioned in the scene that you're talking about with the loud grandfather, who's apparently cartoonishly evil according to your standards. Right? So maybe there's a hint, perhaps, that, you know, she wasn't emotionally mature enough to handle raising a child. And also, she's got family trauma too. Are you going to get around to that? Is he going to get around to the fact that there is actually dialogue in the game, I think in a vision or something else, where she's like screaming at her relatives? Because we only get to visually see Douglas's side of the family. That's the father's, right? So it's Andy and Lele's father's parents. So they're that side of their grandparents. She works. She works. Bro, the most evil thing in the coffin of Andy and Lele. A job. But yeah.
So I can't help but think that other traits she has were added on retroactively to justify killing her in Chapter 2.
I'm sorry, what? I'm trying not to lose my fucking mind here. What do you mean? What do you mean retroactively? First of all, in the first place, you don't really need to think of it as a murder that's justified. You don't need justifications. Why would you want Andy and Lele's actions to be justified, of all things? If it's justified, then they're not as bad people as you claim them to be, in all actuality. They have a reason. Not justified. Not justified. However, the reason why they kill her is not because she's cranky. It's not because she's mean. It's not because she works a job or anything scary like that. It's because she sold them out. She sold them out to die. And she profited off of that. She left them to die. Abandoned. Starved. Maybe even burnt down in the apartment fire. Right? So she can run away and be with Douglas forever with no troubles at all with her fucking retard kids. That. You don't need the third chapter to give you more reasons. Watch the slurs? Exactly, bro. You can't say those words in the chat, Grapes. You're gonna scare someone one of these days.
Most of her glaring examples of abuse either happen after the chapter she dies or on a fucking YouTube video. The worst thing she had done as far as Chapter 2 is concerned is fake her kids' deaths, which I...
Not fake the deaths. This isn't a fucking prank video that she was planning. She didn't just forge a death certificate for no reason. Oh my... She willingly sold them out. Didn't want to be with them. Was perfectly content with them actually dying, not, pretending to die. What do you mean?
I think was a bad decision because the impact of her death is lessened dramatically. I think the siblings having no real justifiable reason to kill their parents would have hit me a lot harder. And
it's not justified. It's not justified. You don't think stepping up from, like, just murdering random strangers to parenticide, that's not like a step up in severity? If you want to play like the moral game? Come on.
And also expanded upon the fact that they are slowly isolating themselves from everyone they knew before the apartment incident. In its current form, their parents' murder acts as a consequence of their parenting that we don't really see until after they die. And I don't know, I think that's kind of lame when the other version would have been far more dramatic. For me, by the way, this is a personal thing. The way I see it, if the game wants to make the point that these two are irredeemable, then they...
Let me see. This video feels like Ashley versus guy who made the video. Novice manipulator versus master gaslighter. Master gaslighter.
should really rinse that aspect for all it's worth. Imagine if the mother was scared of the kids and knew about the murders, and the siblings coming back in chapter 2 to kill them was legitimately for an unjustifiable reason. Again, this is all subjective, but I prefer my characters in fiction to be messy and be allowed to do so without needing a reason that low-key minimizes what they did. Breaking Bad is one of the greatest pieces of television.
I wouldn't say it minimizes it. I think you're supposed to take into account the fact that they've resorted to parenticide. Right? It's not about the parents. Right? Think of it about Andrew and Ashley. Right? They're cutting themselves off from the rest of the world. That's why you have that decision at the end of the chapter where you can either take Renee's or the mother's fucking like bullshit olive branch per se, where she says, "Oh, I can fix all this. Or you can say, "Nah, fuck that." It's just one of the few things that they had of normalcy, right? Having a family, having the illusion of like a happy family. They've completely given that up. That's an argument that even happens before and after the murders. Oh, do you want to play happy family? Of course you don't want to kill him. It's because you want to play happy family. It also goes to demonstrate the lengths that both of the characters will go to essentially display loyalty to each other. It's like, oh, we only care about each other. And then they're like, oh, well, we don't need them. We don't care about them. Master Gaster, hell yeah. Watch out, dude, someone behind you is reaching for the mask. What the hell? New chapters just feel like, what is that? Damion tries to... What? I don't know. And then Grape says, killing people is justified. Real, especially if you say you're doing it for fun.
Ever gotten. Its history on this channel has been comparing it to the incest game twice. I'm going to hell. Anyway, Breaking Bad has two main characters that do a lot of awful things, but in their minds believe they're justified. The reason I love this in that show is because the plot makes it abundantly clear that many of Walt and Jesse's choices were objectively bad, entirely avoidable, but more importantly, their choices. For example, there's a scene in season 5 where a character literally points out Walt's multiple errors throughout the series.
We had a good thing, you stupid son of a bitch. We had Fring.
Two bold men
we had everything
arguing.
It all ran like clockwork. It was perfect, but no, you just had to blow it up. You and your pride and your ego. You just had to be the man. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now.
And Walt, unable to come up with a legitimate retort, just fucking shoots him. Jesse tries to show recovering addicts fucking meth for literally no reason.
So no matter what I do, hooray for me because I'm a great guy. It's all good. No matter how many dogs I kill, I just do an inventory and accept.
I know you're in pain.
No, you know what? Why I'm here in the first place is to sell you meth. You know.
Hey, but at least he's honest. What are you typing, Grapes? Is that even a thing in Undertale Deltarune fandoms? What?
To me, but customers.
There is no good justification for these actions. I cannot find a similar moment in The Coffin of Andy and Lele. And that's so weird to me because this game practically beats you over the head with a bat telling you that these two are awful. And I think it's because a lot of the times, Andrew and Ashley aren't really given the ability to make choices that a good person wouldn't have made. Even going back to chapter 1, when they were locked in a room with no food and were legitimately going to die of starvation, they eat their neighbor. And this should be a major moment, right? Except, I feel like anyone in that situation would do this. Good or bad. I mean, a similar thing happened in real life.
I'm sorry, what? No, I don't think that's a way you can look at it. I don't think that you what? I'm pretty. Wait, you can be a good person? You can be a good person and cannibalize your best friend or your neighbor? What? Oh, don't worry, you can do that and still be a good person. You had to. You had to. No. I think it takes a little bit of a twisted mind to not only come up with the idea but to also carry it out. But I think that's the point of the game, what it's trying to show you. Like, even at the beginning when it's like it's not the worst of the worst that you can possibly see so far, it's trying to tell you that these two characters are supposed to be irredeemable straight off the bat. Like, that line has already been crossed. Like, what do you mean they could still be good people after doing that? Wait, what? I don't agree with that assessment at all. Well, I'll let him keep talking, but I'm weirded out. Wait, what?
No food and were legitimately going to die of starvation. They eat their neighbor.
Right.
And this should be a major moment, right?
It is a major moment.
Except, I feel like anyone in that situation would do this.
No, I don't think anyone would. No, I don't think anyone would. I think it takes a specific type of fucked up person to do that. Because you think about it, like, what happened from even the in-game observation, just what usually happens is just people just fall over and die. And if they don't fall over and die, it's because they're, like, what would you say, like, getting into cahoots with the wardens, doing, let's say, underhanded things to try and get an advantage to try and survive. Like, what do you mean anyone would do this? I don't think so. You like grapes? What are you doing, man? Are you having a stroke?
Good or bad. I mean, a similar thing happened in real life. This is less of a choice they...
Alright. It's time to be a little bit cringe for once. I'll give you about a minute.
make and more of an action they were forced to do, which removes their agency. In Breaking Bad, there is a really noticeable scene in Season 2? Yeah, Season 2, yeah, where Walter lets someone choke to death. Not too different from something in The Coffin of Andy and Lele, if you only look at the scene in a vacuum. But let's take a look at the wider context. Walter White has a pretty adequate life. He had a son, a wife, and a new child on the way. However, he was diagnosed with cancer around his 50th birthday, and driven by the want to provide for his family after death, he gets into drug dealing. This is understandable. The rest of the series makes sure you understand how quickly this stops being reasonable. He is given multiple outs that would allow him to...
How quickly it stops... You can say it's understandable. I would still say it's unreasonable. That's the whole point, right? It's like, even if it's a small step, he was never supposed to do it. In Breaking Bad, he got a fucking, what would you say? In Breaking Bad, he's given a way out anyway. In like the first 3 episodes, like, the guy who owns the company, I think it's called Grey Matter, I forgot what his name was, but he comes up to him, he's like an old friend or a partner of Walt's, and he says like, I know about the cancer. I know about the cancer, and he tries to give him a way out. Right? But the thing is, that what Walt does is he just tells him to go away. He says he's not going to take the money. And it's not even like a full-on charity donation type thing. It's like he says, I can employ you, or I can employ you to be like a researcher or like a lecturer at a prestigious university with like my blessing. But he denies the offer. Yes, him being desperate enough to go into the illegal drug trade is understandable, because desperation is the whole point. But it's not really supposed to be reasonable. You're supposed to be like, hey, this is a step in the wrong direction. And this is what starts to poison his character.
Stop dealing.
Oh no, just spamoid. You have to have message feed etiquette. You gotta be polite. Behave yourself. I'm not gonna make a big deal of it. I'm not gonna cry about it, but it's just like, I don't know. It's kind of cringe, no?
Drugs, but chooses not to. That girlie let die? Well, Walt owed his drug partner Jesse $600,000 and refused to pay him because of a reason that's not important. I don't remember. Anyhow, Jane has an issue with this, obviously, and threatens to expose Walt to the police if he doesn't give Jesse what he owes. They plan on heading to New Zealand to start a drug-free life, but choose to do one last trip beforehand. Walt breaks into Jesse's house and sees Jane ODing, and chooses to do nothing. Like, sure, she threatened him, but only because he didn't give up what he owed, and his response was to let her die and lie about it the episode after. This lets you know that Walt is an evil little shit, and the reason that hits so hard is because it was entirely his choice. He wasn't pushed to this point in a moment of desperation, but because he had a personal grudge against a person. God, there are so many examples of this in Breaking.
Right. Because is he confused in the part that it's like because it's a game, right? And that first act that they do in the first chapter is a thing that's always going to happen no matter what. He views that as like an in-universe thing of like having no choice at all as well. Yeah, I mean, like, hypothetically, theoretically, they had the choice of not doing that. Hypothetically, they had the in-game, in-universe choice of just thugging it out and starving to death, or trying to bargain with the warden, like the other, like the neighbor lady did. But it's weird in a way because you kind of have to accept that it is for the plot to advance, right? Like, but it's like, doesn't that not still tell you anything about like how fucked they are? Or to not only have the idea but also execute it? No, it still doesn't hit him at all.
Bad, or its prequel, Better Call Saul. In that show, everyone's situations are on them. They make choices that put them in holes that they have to make choices to get out of those holes. In The Coffin of Andy and Lele, it's mostly the opposite. They're put between a rock and a hard place and then do the irredeemable acts afterwards, like eating their neighbor or their mother and father. If the Jane scene was written by the Coffin of Andy and Lele writers, it would be Jane holding Walt at gunpoint and making it an us versus them situation. And hey, I know Breaking Bad had a similar situation with Gus. There was no way Walt could live with Gus still being around. But that situation only came about because of Walt's actions again. He made his money and decided he wanted more and began working with Gus, who did not play by Walter or Jesse's rules, which caused conflict. The formula is super simple.
I would say it's the other way around. It's Walt and Jesse not playing by Gustavo Fring's rules. It's not like a partnership that they have going on. It's like they agree to be his employees, essentially, if I'm remembering it correctly. I'm sorry, what?
Character does choice. A reaction happens. A series starting with bad people being reactive is just a lot harder to really make compelling, in my opinion. Especially when the game is supremely confused on whether Andy and Lele are supposed to be bad people.
How not to write victims of abuse in his opinion. Right.
Do you want to give me something to brag about on dates I don't go on? If you subscribe, you can help. Follow my socials, fund the boy Failure. You get access to the early Discord server.
We'll let him chill.
Right here. Anyway, thanks for listening. Back to the video. Normally this would be the section where I say the writer wrote the thing but doesn't understand why it works, but that wouldn't be true here. I think the writer behind this game is very aware of what they're doing. So trying to write out my issues left me stuck for a super long time. Everything that happens in this game feels like a logical step forward for the most part. Like me explaining everything at the start, it made sense. When I played the games back to back, I got the feeling that the writer wanted their cake and to eat it too. Andrew and Ashley are bad. I feel like I've said this like a million fucking
True, that is a fucking brave statement.
times, Jesus. These two suck. I thought the games wanted to convey the message that they were kind of just born that way. Sure, their situation wasn't ideal, but it wouldn't typically cause someone to turn out the way the siblings did. With how I play chapter 1 and 2, I was under the belief that the two siblings, or at least Ashley, were born evil. Chapter 3 has done heavy lifting in trying to make you sympathize with Andrew and Ashley, and that doesn't sit right with me. I'm not a fan of a character getting a backstory after death.
I wouldn't say sympathize. Well, okay, in a way it does. In a way there are like moments that there are things, for example, that people can relate to, I suppose. In a weirdly broad sense, for example, bullying, right? It's like when Andrew, in his teenagehood, he gets bullied and he gets picked on in school. I guess that's something you can sympathize with the character with, right? Nobody likes being talked about in a bad or even untrue manner, right? Bullying and or harassment, not good. But what does it turn into after? Is the thing, right? The game tries to be a little bit more complex, tries to not be so black and white. If anything, it shows that Andrew's not completely the victim in despite of all of that happening to him. Because of what he uses Julia, or how he responds to that with, which is using Julia to dispel the rumors. And purely for that, like purely only getting in a relationship with Julia, just so that people can just stop talking bad about him. With no real, like, feelings for her whatsoever. She's just kind of like an accessory, no?
Or shit hits the fan too hard. If a character is barely developed and then suddenly dies and then gets his backstory, I'm gonna just roll my eyes. It is legitimately the most annoying.
Alright, I'll give him that. Maybe the order of which it could have been told might have been different. It's a fair enough point, actually.
Trope in writing. Jujutsu Kaisen is a huge culprit of this, with one of its main characters, Nobara. Spoilers for the biggest anime of the modern era.
Don't worry, I have no idea what it is. I haven't watched a single second of it, man.
Anyhow, JJK was praised heavily for not falling down the same pitfalls as its older contemporaries, which included bullshit plot armor, a constant need to introduce new villains that raise the power ceiling, and misogyny. I'm really sorry if this is how you found out that a bunch of your favorite animes aren't really the best at representation. Anyhow, before I get hung up for
But I love misogyny, what are you talking about?
pointing out all of those issues, another consequence of my listed issues with anime is the core cast of characters who we started the series with getting totally power crept and kind of forgotten. I don't have to use Naruto as an example for this one, thankfully, since Dragon Ball is arguably even worse. In the 40-something years of that manga being in serialization, we've been introduced to a lot of really cool people with really unique gimmicks or character traits, and now they're gone. With a constant need to raise the stakes, the human characters in that
I'm not gonna lie, this video's I don't know, like the Breaking Bad section and bringing up other, like, I know he's trying to do comparison for comparison's sake, trying to say like, oh, why other shows did it better, or why other things, blah 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 blah. But it's like, I don't know, it's just kind of boring me out. You're not really talking about the game. I think most of the videos so far he's been talking about other things apart from the game. Like, what? The video is 30 minutes long, but maybe in reality he only talks about the game for 15 minutes. You know how much content there is?
series just couldn't keep up anymore and appeared less and less. And that really blows because you are usually given a lot of time to understand these characters beforehand. So watching them get phased out leaves a really bad taste in my mouth. Anyhow, long explanation of why anime secretly sucks is over. JJK was praised for not doing that, especially with its main female lead, Nobara. In season 1, the 3 main characters were all given a reasonable amount of time to develop, and it was really good. A female character in anime was not made into a useless damsel in distress. This is a—
She gaslit, she gate-kept, and she girl-bossed. I think he's gonna say a little bit more than that. I can't understand him! I can't understand him! He's speaking a lot of languages.
big deal.
Google Translate is working overtime.
Please clap. But for whatever reason, all of those careful choices made to avoid those holes totally flew out the window when season 2 came out. Nobara doesn't really do anything that season. She has a fight with one dude that was admittedly pretty alright, and then she dies. Yeah, that's it. Before actually seeing her off, though, we get her entire backstory for why she was even in Tokyo. And you know, it's sad at all, but surely it would have worked better if we got her backstory, I don't know, earlier? The character is introduced...
In a weird sense, if it's timed that way, the tragedy can still hit, the tragic element can still hit. It might even hit harder for some people instead of just knowing it beforehand. Because for some people, if you give a character like a really in-depth backstory, a really emotional backstory, something that gets you sad and all that, or you hype, it's essentially like hyping up a character a lot, right? You're almost given like the expectation that something is going to happen to them, and a lot of the times that's just, yeah, they're gonna die. Yeah, right? Like some people take that as a tell. If you avoid doing that, they die, and then you do it afterwards, and then you're like filled with all of these like what would you say, like, oh fuck, this is what we missed and this is what was squandered type feelings, right? It's like the tragedy for some people can hit harder than that, you know?
Just in that backstory as being so important to Nobara, and then it cuts to her in present day questioning how Nobara is doing now. Like, who are you? It's hard for me to feel anything other than dissatisfaction when something like that happens, as I feel like the character stopped being a person alive in the story and just became someone made to fulfill a goal, like making the audience sad, or in the Coffin of Andy and Lele's case, sympathetic. I
guess it can come across as a little bit like you can feel as though like the writer's trying to reach through the screen and like pull your leg and all that, but it's like, I at least would appreciate the effort for them trying to get your viewers and our audience members to feel something, right? Especially if you are considering whatever you're watching to be part of an artistic medium, right?
I know me going on this long rant is going to make people think I hate anime, but
Toby Fox, why did you make me cry at the end of the pacifist route? You clearly only made Asriel so that people would cry. Like if you say it like that, yeah, sure, maybe that's me stretching it a little bit, me being a little bit uncharitable, but that's kind of what it sounds like. You know what I mean?
I don't. I actually really like anime, like JoJo's.
I don't know, Fireflash. I don't know. Grapes, for whatever in particular, just loves to ERP. In my message feed. Well, not ERP, but just roleplay. But this isn't the place to do that. What's that fucking, like, cringeoid app called? What was that one? Like, that fucking absolutely just mind-raped the Undertale fandom back in the day? I want to say Amino, but it's probably not that one. It might have... What's a, like a forum-esque type thing? It might even be Tumblr. Yeah, but I only prefer to see English.
I have a JoJo's video I'm going to post on Patreon in a few weeks, actually, if you care to see that. Before Chapter 3, I was under the impression that Andrew and Ashley were major pieces of...
In a way, you're kind of owning yourself. If you type a message but no one can understand it, was there a point into typing the message at all? You're Mexican? Brownoid. If you'll allow me to be a little bit racist for once. I need it to come out. I just hear Mexican. It's like, you're brown.
Shit. But actually,
but don't worry. I'm not quite fair-skinned myself neither.
Should feel bad for them because everyone in their past were terrible people, and we only find out after their parents are dead. It's like the writer didn't want the audience to focus too much on the fact that the siblings murdered their parents and gave a hey nigga damn explanation. I legitimately...
Hey, his words, not mine. Although, I'm not going to stop him from saying it again.
murdered their parents and gave a "here nigga damn" explanation.
I'm not going to stop him from saying it again.
Murdered their parents and gave a "here nigga damn" explanation. I legitimately believe that's
Alright, I've been satisfied. My thirst has been quenched. Okay, I'll let you have that one. I'll let you have that one. I believe it's still grapes. I'll let you have that one. Because that message is the only one I understand. But it's also the funniest one you've typed so far.
case, since that flashback at the start had almost nothing to do with anything else that happens in the game. I may have said it.
Like, not literally. No, like, not directly, sure, but it gives back, like, what? It gives a little bit of context, no? And it sets up a nicer little mystery as well.
But the mother from chapter 2 to 3 is such a jarring flip. In chapter 2, she was kinda normal. The most stern she really gets is in telling Andrew and Ashley not to sleep together, which, reasonable by the way. Then in chapter 3, she is Darkman levels of unsubtle about what she's supposed to be. Oh man, I think she's an abusive parent, guys. Where was this?
Oh dear. So in chapter 3, she shouts at them a little bit more. Forget about her selling them to die and leaving them to die in chapter 2. Forget about that. I couldn't have possibly gotten the message otherwise.
When she was alive, my reaction to their mother's true nature was not, oh wow, everyone failed Andrew and Ashley. It was, are we sure this is the same character? I mean, she's in the shadows, so can we be sure? In all seriousness though, if I can see the writing change so drastically between chapters, I will not give a fuck about what I'm seeing. I feel like everyone's...
I don't think the writing changed. I've been pretty, like, yeah, it got a little bit more heavy-handed. It became a little bit more overt, explicit. It got a lot more ballsy, especially with its visualizations. But I don't think it's treating it like the whoever wrote chapter 1 and 2 just fucking died, and then like some fucking skinwalker came in and said, I'm gonna write chapter 3. I don't think that's what happened.
Portrayals has done a major 180. No, that one really emphasized how major of a shift chapter 3 was. I feel like everyone's betrayal has done a major... Oh my god, they're driving off a cliff! From what I understood, Ashley was the main cause for a lot of evil stuff that happens in this game, with Andrew both feeling responsible...
Yeah, you can even say she's the proactive one. The person who, what would you say, drives the plot forward? You did? You must be really good at skipping then.
Responsible for her and also being forced along into her schemes by years of mental abuse, turning him into a doormat. In chapter 3, I genuinely feel like I've entered a fucking bizarro world. Ashley is given a bunch of sympathetic traits here to make you feel bad for her, and it just doesn't work for me, dude. For example, the prophecy she saw in chapter 2 where Andrew kills her. She was pretty gleeful about the whole thing, you know, I save. But now in chapter 3, she is terrified of pulling the trigger.
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry. Wait, hold on.
Chapter 2 where Andrew kills her. She was pretty gleeful about the whole thing, you know, I save.
Are you telling me that he looked at that frame and he interpreted glee? The same type of joy that she felt killing anybody else. This doesn't strike you as different. Not at all. There's just no hints whatsoever. No hints. No, she's 100% happy. 100%. This strikes me as unstable, hysterical. You think she really, like, even in the vision, you really think she meant to pull the trigger? Apart from it being like a very, very split decision act of self-defense? Because she had a fucking cleaver to her fucking neck? Even in despite of that, retaliating? You think she's happy about killing Andrew? In despite of what the game fucking just beams into your soul how much it, like, these two characters mean to each other. She's happy about it. Like, he doesn't find anything off with that at all. Come on.
Save, but now in chapter 3...
And in chapter 3, a lot of the conflict comes from her shitting herself that the vision's gonna come true. That's why she's so hesitant. She doesn't want it to come true. She also wants to believe that Andrew wouldn't be like as willing to go as far as he would, for example, into actually killing her. Where this scene only happens if you don't catch her. Right? If you catch her, she dies, and then he kills himself. That's like a very quick ending to get. But this one, if you just leave it alone, she turns the gun on you, and as he says, she's not able to shoot him. That's a very interesting, like, the divide between the two characters. Andrew seems to be the only one who's actually willing, at certain points, to go as far as he does, you know, like to try and kill people. I mean, if you're not knowledgeable about the game, it wouldn't make any sense to you.
She is terrified of pulling the trigger and would do anything to avoid that future, which is...
Do you know why she'd want to avoid the future? Or that vision, at least, from coming true?
Is really, really weird. A moment of good writing, I pointed out, was Ashley guilt-tripping Andrew into being her accomplice for an accidental murder, playing up her feelings to get Andrew to feel bad for her, and snapping back to her usual coldness the second he makes the point that this isn't a good idea. The game now wants to tell me that those feelings were all real and that Ashley, I do the first thing that comes to mind without a care in the world, Graves, was both smart enough to leverage those real feelings to get what she wants, but also emotionally stable enough to turn the waterworks off immediately when she was like 10 or some shit. And then the same thing happened to Andrew, but in reverse. He went from the reluctant accomplice to Mr. fucking Abuse. And I don't buy this either. Sure, I can believe
just Mr. Abuse.
Andrew also has bad traits, but to this level, no way, dude. Again, in the first 2 chapters, Ashley attacks Andrew for no reason and he fights back. The seriousness coming from the fact that Ashley was not ready for this.
I wouldn't say for any good reason, but she did have a reason. And the reason stems from another reason. I mean, do I want to explain it? Like, okay, fine. Like, the reason why in this scene she's like fucking shouting at him, where she's like calling him names, grabbing at him, being fucking like annoying and all this shit is because she doubts. She's essentially doubting his loyalty here, because this is the scene straight after he kills the neighbor lady. And then she's assuming, like, what would you say, like, well, why would he do that? Like, he's not usually supposed to be able to go that far, so why does he do it? Oh, it must be for, like, because he's just a fucking, you know, he's a pig and he thought he wanted to get some and all that. But there's actually a vision, I think, in Chapter 3 that gives his perspective of what happened in this very scene. And why they both react as violently as they do to each other in here. In the other fucking, there's a fucking, like a different vision where he's there and he's basically holding her hostage and he's like, in his mind, he's just constantly thinking about Ashley. Oh, what's she doing? Or where is she? Is she safe? And blah, blah, blah. She tries to, like, negotiate a little bit with this fucking lady. And then she makes the lunge for the nail gun. And then he reacts by killing her. It's very obvious that he didn't really feel anything for the neighbor lady. He doesn't feel any regrets when it comes to killing her. He goes away, and then he cleans up, comes out, and then Ashley comes into the room, and then the last piece of flavor text that you see is that he's glad to see her. But then the argument ensues. Come on.
This reaction. It was a rare moment where she wasn't in control. In Chapter 3, he tries to kill her after Ashley trolls a bit too hard, fails, is locked into a room on a chain by Ashley, and then beats the shit out of her. This is also played seriously, as it should, but the game does something really fucking weird and kind of sides with Ashley. Look, I don't think there should be a side. They both suck. But to take one side feels wrong, especially with what we've seen Ashley do to Andrew, and also what we're going to see later on as well.
Your choices don't matter.
This section is going to have mentions of SA, assault, alcoholism, and abuse in general. So please skip to this time.
Trigger warning! Trigger warning. 5 minutes of the video might be a little bit too much, but if you stuck around to watch the streams, then I think you got the stomach to what would you say, bear with this video.
Code if you would like to avoid that. I'm not a fan of the way shock horror is used in most cases. The sky is also blue. Come on, you know this about me. At this point, it's one of my...
Alright. I'm gonna do something a little ballsy. I think he's gonna say that the game tried to be shocking by just showing, what would you say, like, domestic abuse? I don't think it's just the fact that it's just domestic abuse in and of itself that it's shocking, right? I think the thing that's supposed to shock you is that either of them would stoop that low when it comes to how they deal with each other. It's more specific to the actual characters. Like, you wouldn't think that Andrew Doormat Graves would go as far as to retaliating in such a violent manner towards Ashley of all people, you know? I mean, but then again, it's like, there are other endings where he does just end up killing her, but this, whilst not killing her, but brutalizing her, that's an entirely different sight to behold, you know?
My defining character traits. Statistically, you've seen the Urban Spook video, so I'm not going to spend too long explaining why I think the use of this technique is wasted in most bits of media. But to be honest, techniques used to shock me have like a 50% chance of doing the complete opposite. And it comes down to why writers choose to do it. I feel like writers don't think they can build up to a shocking moment. Like, the moment itself is the only thing that matters, even if it makes absolutely no sense. If an audience member is shocked by that scene, then that's what the writer needs to worry about. When, like, no, a shocking scene hits like a million times harder when you could see it coming. But a writer did such a good job in...
Did he misspeak, or does he actually mean that? Wait, what? Hold on.
By that scene, then that's what the writer needs to worry about. When, like, no, a shocking scene hits like a million times harder when you could see it coming. But
Am I going crazy, or is it supposed to be the opposite? A scene is only shocking because you can't see it coming. If you can see it coming, it's not shocking. Am I wait, am I the retard here? Am I the dummy? I don't get it. I'm pretty sure a scene is surprising or shocking if you don't see it coming. If you know it's gonna happen, or if you can guess it's gonna happen, it shouldn't be shocking. Maybe it can be like, I don't know, like maybe a bit foreboding, perhaps, maybe, but I don't know.
the writer did such a good job in distracting you or planting the seeds for this
Distractions? I know all about distractions. I've got it right here.
moment to take place. Akira is really good at this. Some dudes capture a guy and you can see another guy messing with this grenade. A few minutes later and boom! You get that sudden jolt at the explosion, but then a major pit in your stomach realizing there's characters you know that could be hurt. This manga, whose name I can't pronounce because of a 2-year-old bit,
Don Don Don.
Yeah, Don Don Don.
He's literally spelled Don Don Don. Like, what is wrong with you?
does this in a way I loved personally. A character is cursed by this yokai. If she is outside after a certain time, she's basically just dead. So the manga spends a few chapters showing the reader how this cursed character will have to live until the curse is lifted. Except someone fucking dies because of a totally brand new and unrelated threat, which now becomes the cast's main priority. They manage to just barely send back this new threat after dozens of chapters of setup and fighting, and right when you think everything's over, you realize what time it is. I'm not gonna spoil what happens next, but I legitimately got chills reading that the first time. Anyway, why did I need to give off this super long explanation about shock horror in a chapter about your choices not mattering? Well, it's because this game has bad shock content, and as a casualty, the many choices you get to make don't really feel that impactful. Obviously, there aren't any good endings. You know, where the characters get redeemed or don't do really evil stuff.
Whoa, whoa. If we're talking about Coffin in particular, it's not necessarily that you want them to be redeemed. I don't want Andrew and Ashley to be absolved of all of their crimes, like objectively, or like in a like a universal grand scheme. No, it's just you only want to see how they interacted with each other. Really, that's the crux of the story.
Which is kind of its own issue, because why do I get these choices in the first place if I'm still very limited in the direction I go in the game? But more importantly, I am still limited by the fact that this game will have these characters go down the path to hell, and there isn't any way for that to change. This game has an unknown amount of chapters left, And unfortunately, if you want to keep playing the game, your options are die or get railroaded into weird and poorly written incest shit. Yeah! You know how I spent a decent amount of time saying the game probably wasn't a fetish thing, it's just a weirdly handled edgy element in the game? I don't have stills anymore, but my arms are crossed. Even if you do what I did and avoid it like the plague, this game is making you go down that route. The end of my gameplay has...
I mean, well, I don't really think you had a choice to begin with. I think that's something that I think people have to accept even since chapter 1, to be honest.
Andrew get told by the nicest character we've seen so far they should rot in hell and also have him turning to drinks to numb the pain. Ashley then essays him. Well, totally blacked out on booze, and this moment is not treated with almost any gravity. The characters quickly spring up and game end. The whole time, this super upbeat music is playing too. Andrew beating up Ashley is treated seriously. I know this game is capable of doing so what happened? Why is this not taken seriously? Well, I don't think it's a surprise that the most popular character in the game gets a million outs in this new chapter. If she's actually as one-sidedly evil as she was in chapter...
A million outs. By the way, not like fucking 5 seconds ago shows a fucking picture of her just covered in bruises.
1 and 2, maybe she won't be as liked by the audience for this game. And also, if he wants to avoid this ending while not giving into the weird incest shit, too bad. The only way to avoid this is if you find a wedding ring, and then Andrew does the eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and chooses to get married and have children with... Ashley. I'm glad I could avoid...
I don't think he chose that. I don't think that's a planned thing. I think the game tries to make a joke of that. If anything, it's kind of like poking at the fandom. If anything, really. Because the first thing they say is like, they panic about it and they're like fucking angry and they're saying like, oh hell no, we're not keeping it.
The characters doing incest so that they could do fucking super incest. Jesus. Half the time, it feels like this chapter was made perfectly to annoy me. More weird incest stuff that I can't avoid, doing the shocking thing for the sake of it, and then not even taking it seriously. The retroactive story corrections, everything about this game, aside from the visuals, is worse. And I just cannot, for the life of me, even say it's worth talking about at this point.
Let's see. I'm awesome and always right about everything. Alright.
The first video on this game was motivated entirely by my own and very personal interest. It wasn't made to smear the game or spread misinformation. I just wanted to play a video game and then write...
I don't know. No, don't use misinformation like that. It doesn't have a good ring to my ears.
My experience. It just happens that 500,000 people saw the vid. Wait, 500,000 people? Holy shit! I will acknowledge that.
Hey, congratulations, bro, it popped off.
Me talking about my interpretations of things is seen by a lot of people, and that is scary. I have no doubt in my heart that something I say will cause at least someone to not like the game for the reasons I laid out. But like, what am I supposed to do about that? I made it clear in every video that this is how...
Don't worry, because I don't think it's the fact that, I don't think your videos are necessarily, like, converting anybody. I think mostly it's people who already dislike the game anyway, coming to you, hearing your opinions about it, and then you say, like, oh, I don't like it either, and it's like, it's kind of like, oh wow, this guy has the same opinion as me, I'm gonna like it. I don't think it's that deep.
How I think about something. Not that my thesis is somehow the objectively correct way to interpret that piece of media. If someone decides that my opinion is one they agree with, I cannot do anything about that. The only thing I can say is...
Alright, he kind of gets it,
...is, welcome to living on planet Earth. I am just some dude talking about a thing I was interested in. That is all there is to me. The Coffin of Andy and Lele is no longer interesting because every chapter will be more of the same issues I had with it. I'll come back every year to say the same thing. I'm sure that works for some people, probably most people, but not for me. I make these videos because they're fun. If you do the same thing over and over and over again, then it will stop being fun. So unless something absolutely insane happens with this game, or it actually stops getting updates, I'm done. I'm sorry to the hopefully tiny part of my audience that is really interested in hearing me talk about incest. It's probably like 2 people, I'm just exaggerating. That's the end of the video. if you managed to sit through this half-an-hour yap session.
I
You
did,
should
yeah,
comment
I did.
something like, Ty, why did you buy a monster truck for a video? We did war crimes last time, so let's convince people I do things like drive. God, I'm a fucking loser. Before the video ends, I want to give a quick thank you to my $5 and up Patreon members. I recently did a lot of revamping.
Another shill section? I understand.
I'm also going to be posting my first actual exclusive video on JoJo's. If you care about that, Chromatic Aberrant.
Wait a minute, wait. So this is basically the end of the video now. He doesn't say anything else, really. Alright, this one... I don't know. The first one wasn't that bad. You know. Granted, he did just spell it out in front of me, like, oh, he just doesn't like the game, he doesn't want to talk about it anymore, blah, blah, blah. I understand, but it's like... I don't know. It's kind of like he chickened out of it, you know? Like, to me, it looked like you took out the mantle of trying to, like, disassemble this game fucking scene by scene, text by text, and fucking pixel by pixel. And instead, he talks about like it feels like he spent more time talking about like other shows and other media and all that than he did talking about the actual game. And the analysis of the game that he presented to me, it's just so shallow. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like I don't know. Like I would have accepted this if it was like a third of the length, and he just said, "I don't like the fucking game," blah blah blah. Sure, but it's like, are you sure you even really played the chapter, or did you just play it one time, get that first ending that you saw you get, which is I think is one of the easiest endings to get, and then you saw someone else play it, and you like, what is this? Hold on. So he only really talks about two endings, right? He only talks about the Deadest of Dead Ends ending. That's the one where they both commit suicide. And the Terrible Marriage one, I think it's called Shots and Such. He doesn't talk about Lele Wins. And he doesn't talk about the cliffhanger ending, which is the one that's got everyone by the fucking balls, right? Like, that's the whole point where that chapter got sliced into two. Everyone's waiting with fucking bated breath for what happens after the cliffhanger. Did you say mental? I don't know. You just fucking, you fucked your software? Or, no, your fucking software bricked your phone. Now you can't torture Noel and Deltarune. That's your comeuppance. Maybe it is God's divine way of telling you to stop torturing fictional characters. But don't worry, you shouldn't feel bad anyway. Anyways, no. This video, I don't know. It felt like he just didn't put as much effort in it, even in the first one. The first one, I literally only had like 2 nitpicks. In this, it's like, I don't know. The video is just really boring. It's a little bit slow. It's like he doesn't even want to attempt humor anymore. At least it's like, and then he just looks at like 2 endings and he completely neglects everything else. He neglects the symbolism. He neglects so much. It's just like, fuck me, bro. It's like, he didn't do for how long this video is, I really thought he was going to look at the whole fucking chapter. He doesn't touch the cliffhanger ending at all. He doesn't touch so many of the important scenes that happen, the fucking childhood, what happens in his teenagehood, what happens in the fucking multiple times where they like are fucking laying in bed talking to each other, why Ashley reacts the way she does to Andrew just seeing Julia, not even full-on dating her, or at least that's how he calls it, and all that. And the graveyard scene, and what happens when he comes back, and so on and so forth. There's so many things that happen consecutively afterwards. He just doesn't get invested at all. Fuck, it's like, it's so shallow. It's so shallow. I don't know, maybe I'll be lucky and one day I'll find another video where it's like, it really tries to talk about all of these fucking things and really tries to sink its teeth into it and tries to find all the meaning that's possible. Right? Because the whole game, what it's trying to do is it's trying to give you more and more and more and more and more information about your protagonists. Because that's really all you should be caring about. I don't give a shit about the fucking I am a surgeon or I'm a surgeon, which I don't think he even knows about because you only see a little part of him in the cliffhanger ending. You're not really supposed to give a shit about, like, the fucking police of all things. It's like, I just don't fucking get it, man. It's just, this video is just like, it's like fucking, I don't know. It gave him more of an excuse to talk about other media, if anything, than the, what would you say, the actual focus that the title tries to tell you it's about. This one is, yeah, I don't know. This video is, to me, it's definitely worse than the first one. The first one, it's like, at least he tries to get through everything, and I think it was probably easier for him because there was less content. Like, chapter 3, it gives you, like, minimum 6 or 7. But fuck. But that's it, I think. That's going to be it from Definitely Bored Oranges. First video was okay. Second video legitimately left me a little bit disappointed. Especially when it was like, I was kind of expecting like a much more in-depth analysis of the game. But it's just half the videos just talking about other shit, man. Breaking Bad and other anime. Toastfire, or Fireflash says, react to another. What do you got for me? What do you got for me? I think Photos was saying something about like, what was it again? The guy who made like the boiled one meme? What was it? Dr. Nowhere, I think? What do you got for me, Fireflash? Oi. Ah, oh, fuck. A little bit of a mask adjustment. Hey. I could even do that. I've only been going for an hour and a half. I didn't react as hard as I did to the previous vid. React harder. Observe the MB4 to your fullest potential. I don't know. We could probably have a sneak peek at one of those videos. I don't know. Let me see. It was, what is it? Dr. Nowhere. I don't know which one I should go for. This one seems okay, but it is 10 minutes long. I might save this even for an entirely different stream. These ones are short at least. Concepts. We'll give it a try. Let's see what Photo has got me thinking about. Obviously, I'll put a link, even in despite of my thoughts about Orange's video. I'll put a link as a little bit of due diligence to the credit. I'll put a link to his video in the description. If you want to like see his other content, or if you want to watch that video or the other one in particular without my commentary. Who the fuck is buying a boiled one plush? Fans of the boiled one, obviously. What? Skeletons are technically clankers. Clankers have to be made out of metal, though, don't they? You failed. You failed to get the specification correct. Skeletons are their own faction. But you're trying to, like, when people hear clanker, though, they think like a full-on, like at least a cyborg. I know you're trying to be clever. But nobody looks at a skeleton and thinks, "Oh, that's a robot." You know what I mean? Yeah, but nobody looks at a skeleton and thinks that they're a robot. Hey, the internet's a small place. Anyways, actually, let me have a sneak peek at this. What am I missing out on? Is he gonna break through the glass? All right. I kind of get the appeal. This one was like a little test vid. I get it. The longer videos should be the ones that are like really interesting. Me when I'm in an aquarium, there's a fish I really like. SpongeBob episodes be silly as hell, then have one shot like this. So, you know what? The thing is... what would you say? The funniest part about horror videos are always going to be the YouTube comments. You would never shower. The lyrics. Hell yeah. Alright, okay. Everything is mostly the same. The homeless man watching me eat a 7-course dinner after I said I didn't have any change. Well, what's that in your pocket? What's that in your pocket? Go on, you can show me. Go on, you can show me. What's that? What's that in your pocket? What's that in your pocket? You can share with the class. Oh, wait, what? So I found some disturbing rabbit holes on YouTube. 8-Bit Ryan probably reacted to this? Analog horror videos that actually scare me. I've seen this one doing the rounds. Beating Minecraft, but I can't break the laws of Islam. Fucking mashallah, bro. Take care. This is another one that we saw. What is Smilehood? Glitch Direct. Blah, blah, blah. Alright. Community about Sonic? I don't know. Goonpocalypse. This is what I get for watching an analysis video about the Coffin game, bro. You just get shit like this that pops up on your feed. Alright. I keep a mental note of this guy. This one and this one, the Oddity Compendium. Maybe it's just all of these videos put together? I don't think so. It looks like it's something else. But this one should be pretty interesting. The Boiled One Phenomenon. You have a yummy 1440p gaming monitor in your pocket that you're about to devour. You eat it in one bite and it just sticks out of your neck like this. What do you got for me? What do you got? I might make a mental note of it if it's any bit compelling. Because apart from that, I'm thinking that just tomorrow night I'm either going to play more Yakuza or Eve. Back to gaming. I could add reacties to my rotation. Although I don't... to be honest, I don't want to do it too often. Into the Spamverse? Let me have a look. It might be just like a YouTube type thing. Into the Spamverse. Into the Spamverse episode 1 Business Partners. The trailer. TCP sockets commercial. The theme. Flying Snake. This is the trailer. This is the actual episode. It just came out 2 weeks ago. Mary Cromer. I don't know, something tells me that this guy's a little bit of a Spamton fan. Aku monologue? Hell yeah. And the Foolish Samurai? I think this is when he did the, what is this? Senor Pello Silhouette. I wonder what's that about. Amogus. Friday Night Funkin'. The Heavy is dead, but it's 15.ai. And then Spamton.Trashman. This might have been the start of the brain rot. Oh yeah, no, it totally was. Every single video afterwards is just Spamton. Into the Spamverse. I could save that for another one. Sure. You're a gay Spamton hater? What the hell? Normal Spamton? Better. How many Spamtons are there? I thought there was only one. Well, there's like, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is Business Partners. I mean, those look pretty well animated. Normal Spamton isn't in this? I thought the whole point of like a verse, like a multiverse type thing, is that you have the original, but then it's like contrasted with all of the other variations. I thought it was supposed to be like literally Into the Spider-Verse. You have like something that is very close to the OG Spider-Man, but then you have one variation and then another and another and another and another. No, nothing like that. It is scam. I thought that said Scumpton, but Scampton, Rocket, Knox, Junior, Glamo, and Melon. Just Melon. I could save that for another one. Although the boiled one videos could go pretty hard. I'll also try to look for something interesting as well. Anything that hits my radar, perhaps. Maybe something a little funnier. That could work. But anyways, I'm pretty sure I'm going to dedicate the next 2 nights to just more gaming. More gaming. This is very funny. Well, it depends. I might find it funny. Who knows? Let's see. 13 minutes. Well, let's say a minute or two is dedicated to like credits, more or less like 11 minutes. But we'll see. I'll note it down. But how long have we been going for? Only an hour 40. About that, hey, that reminds me. Apart from reacting to videos, I should make some of my own. I don't know. That reminds me of what I said last time. Like, this one hurt me a little bit. Just because it came across as a little bit lazy, but who the fuck is a guy who hasn't uploaded anything in 5 years to say about anything ever? Ay. Or I could start doing Delta Goon Grave, gaming related. Oh yeah, no, that's true. I could replay Deltarune and do the fucking evil route, essentially, or what it's called. It's just called Snowgrave. But I think I'll stick to what I said before. I'll leave Deltarune for a bit, give it a little bit of a break, and then come back to it at a later date. I'm a little bit Deltaruned out because the problem is if I've got to do the Snowgrave, I've got to go all the way back to like Chapter 2, I believe. At minimum, I think, because that's when you get to start to fuck with Noelle. I'll have to look into how to do it as well, because don't you need to find an item called the, You need to go out of your way to get an item called the Thorn Ring. Isn't it? But we'll see. Hell, if I'm, speaking of videos, if I'm feeling particularly lazy as well, I could always make like a highlight vid. Anyways. I think I'm going to call it here, though. At least listen to the themes Flying Snake has made. I'll listen to one. Let's see. This is a trailer. Let's try Rocket or Scampton or I don't know actually. Yeah, let's just do the first one. Press any button. When does the actual song start? Spam songs? Fucking hell, hey. It's got quite a fucking bass to it. Ah. You can hear a little bit of the Friday Night Funkin' influence. I'm gonna guess it kind of repeats a little bit. Alright, it's a little different. Alright, we got something. He really likes cats. Well, women spammed him? What? Still fire, though. Oh, he really likes cats. Ah, okay, I see. And obviously a little bit of a courtesy to the patrons. It's not bad. It's not bad. If I ever watch the actual episodes, remember to put on subtitles. Are they not voice acted? Is that the gimmick? Like, is it all still like text, like in the actual games? Oh, it's just secrets. Okay, secrets. Lore. I'm a lore type of man. I'm a lore type of guy. I like stories. It's voice acted, but subtitles have lore and shit. Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Like I said, I like stories. I like lore. I like trying to find details. Nice. The voices are amazing. I mean, hell, like, I'm already, like, kind of, like, looking forward to it. I mean, if the animation looks as good as it does, like, the art and everything, it's like, it's given me already, like, a pretty good impression. Day one asking for Snowgrave. I'm gonna try and see if I can't make you hit the triple digits then. Fireflash. I think there's a few people who I've seen, like in some comments of some videos, they've reached like day 200 plus of asking someone to do something. I think one of the most egregious ones is like, I think I saw it was either someone asking Pyrocynical to either release Petscop 2 or a one-shot vid to him, and I think they hit like nearly 1,000 days or something like that. Like, he made a note of it on like his subreddit. It's just the same guy who kept asking him over and over and over again. The ones that go for like 6 years for something, that's fucking dedication at that point. Like, I can't believe that there's like what would you say? That there's like a person doing that, you know? Like, at that point, like, you've got to have like quit after like 100 days, and you're like, you know what? Let me put like a fucking bot to do it, like renew it every single time it hits a new day, and it'll just like post the message. We'll hear the music when we react to the video. We'll hear all of the songs. Just be patient. Be patient, my young little chap boy. No, shit, I shouldn't say that. I sound like a fucking nonce. Full-on fucking Epsteinian type pedophile, bro. But anyways, patience is of a virtue. But yeah. End it all. End the stream. That's what I was thinking about. Don't need to do it for so long anymore. No more 3 hours, no more 4 hours. Fuck, I'm never doing a 4-hour stream. Fuck that shit, bro. I'm not built for it. I can't do 4 hours, man. I think we'll leave this reacty to another stream. It might be the after the two gaming ones. Tomorrow's a gaming one. The night after that will be a gaming one, and then we'll see. We'll see if we can do a little bit of reacties. Think of the views. Think of the watch hours. You want me to extort one person in this message feed toast? Think of the one person who'll stick around for another 10 minutes. You know, like that gif of the guy from the wrestling thing where he's just doing this and he's like sniffing the money. Literally me. Oh, bro, I could add that in as like a thing for the stream. You know, like this one. Oh shit. Oh, that also interacts with the video. Okay, I got trolled. I got trolled. But anyway, so I could flip that up. Well, it wouldn't be that loud. It'd be more like a distraction screen, but you know, more like a GIF instead of a flashbang. But you know, but I like those ones as well. The distraction cat is a fucking classic. But anyways, it's time for the obligatory outro. Thank you so much to everyone who has stuck with me for a short while or a long while. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm just here to stream for fun, and it's all appreciated the same. Anyway, I should see you tomorrow night. Until then, or I should be streaming tomorrow night. Until then, take care. Good luck on all of your endeavors, and don't forget to have fun whilst you're doing so, alright? Bye-bye. Goodbye. Let's try and see you guys tomorrow night. Alright. See ya.